Today, the labor issues in China are well known, but they've been around since before the 1950s. They originated from something called lejai, which was an administrative detention for those who had committed minor offenses. They tried to use penal labor in prison farms to conduct a system of working offenders of the law. And now today, there's a new system similar to it called legai. Legai means reform through labor. It was created around the 1970s, and it is very similar to the past forced labor systems that they had, and is still currently used in China today. It's estimated that there are 1,000 legai camps still in commission, and China's mainland export and gross domestic product is due to mostly the forced labor that is currently occurring within the country. Because the problems in China have managed to get so bad, the U.S. should act to solve these labor issues in China by working with international unions to bargain the rights of workers, but choosing to get involved could affect us economically, politically, and socially because of it. The U.S. getting involved with China could affect both of us economically. Firstly, China, because the taxes would increase just to keep these new factories up and running as well as safe and clean for the workers. And the workers would be paid much better than they are now, as well as shorter hours. But because of this, the product would cost more than it is now, which is very cheap to us. Which this would cause probably slight economic problems within our country. The U.S. should get involved with China to help with their labor issues, but it could affect both of us economically. Firstly, China, because the taxes would increase just to keep the factories clean and safe, as well as the workers paid much better with shorter hours. But this would eventually affect us and other countries because the product that they are selling would probably be much more expensive than it is now, which could cause a few economic problems within our country. Affected socially. Some social effects it would have on China's citizens could be good and bad. Taxes and prices would go up in their country, but in the circumstances it might be for the best. The lives of workers and families of workers would be greatly improved due to better training, better pay, shorter hours, and healthier conditions, as well as a better workforce. Both the United States and China could be affected socially. Some social effects it could have on China's citizens could be good and bad. Taxes and prices would go up in their country, but in the circumstances it might be for the best. The lives of workers and families of workers would be greatly improved due to proper training, proper pay, as well as healthier environments and a better workforce. But in the U.S., many citizens don't know of the problem and how it affects them in small ways, but it's hard to get the big picture because we don't know the extent of how bad it really is. But because of where a company might get its product, China, and how the workers are treated could persuade a person from buying from them or a different shop, or how many times they would go to that shop, which could be a social effect on us. Lastly, the United States and China could be affected politically, but the impacts would be small. By doing this, some countries might have an upset as to why we are trying to help China's people and not theirs, causing other countries to have indecisive feeling about us, but nothing to cause harm to anyone. Another small problem or impact could be that other countries do not want to pay more money for the same product that they could have gotten cheaper if the labor was still as bad as it was. But other than that, politically, I don't think there would be any huge changes. It would almost be indifferent.